we go from average to awesome. I want to welcome you to the very first lesson in this much anticipated Nobody is Born Average course. I want to let you know how excited I am that you have decided to make an investment in your personal growth. This course is designed to help you. It's designed to stretch you, to get you to see beyond where you currently are to where I believe you are destined to be. And I am thoroughly convinced that in our time together, this will help kickstart you on a journey to a place where you will discover the individual that God created you to become. Now, I am aware that so many of us have something inside of us that is destined to change the world. And I will say it throughout this course because I believe without a shadow of a doubt, nobody is born average. That within every single one of us that are watching this course right now is the ability to grow and develop and shape our culture and shape our society. But it has to start with us. Now, there are some things you will never know unless you are willing to grow. And in this course, Nobody is Born Average, my hope and my prayer is that you will grow to a level where it will totally transform the trajectory of your life. It'll change your relationships. It'll impact your family dynamics. It will literally impact everyone that you come into contact with. Now, I know some of you may be already buying into the lie that, this course is for somebody else. This isn't for me. Darren, you're talking to, my uncle needs this, my aunt needs this, my best friend's dog needs this, whatever. But I want to tell you right now, this course is for you. I've designed Nobody is Born Average for you to see a change in you. You may have believed all your entire life, you may have believed that you do not have what it takes to be the overcomer that God tells us we are created to be. But before we get through with Nobody is Born Average, before this course is over, you're going to see the person that God fashioned and formed you to become. So I want you to get ready. It's going to be pretty awesome. And I'm so glad you've joined us. Before we begin, let me just give you a little disclaimer. I don't have all the answers. I wish I did. But I am so far from truly knowing how life should be conquered. But I have had to live with what many would consider to be a disability. Now, I don't see it that way. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. I don't see it that way, but there's others that have and others that do. And through this condition of my birth, I believe that God has put some principles and revelations into my spirit that will help anyone who is just willing to listen. I have learned the advantage of a disadvantage, and I want to share it with you. So let's get started. Now, if you watched the introductory video, you discovered where I'm coming from, but let me just establish this foundation once again. Psalm 139, beginning in verse 14, says this: I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. This is my life verse. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God, how vast is the sum of them. Now, that's powerful, few verses of scripture, but when you look at this premise that the psalmist David established in this psalm, we discover that all of us were born uniquely in the design that God has established. Yet even though I believe all of us were born with promise, with potential, with possibility coursing through our veins, somewhere in the path of life, we've allowed ourselves to slip into average. Maybe you've allowed yourself to be affected by failure, by hurt, by pain, by rejection, by disease. The list could go on and on and on. But here's what I want to get across right at the beginning. You and I are not born average. Not according to God, not according to His Word. Yet, let's be honest, we've allowed some things from the cradle to where we are right now to cause us to kind of shrink back, to settle into the place of average. So, what are we going to do? Well, first of all, let's dissect this word average. Now, remember, if you watch the introductory video, we're going to go, in this course, we're going to go from average to awesome. 7 letters in average, 7 letters in awesome. We're going to take a journey from average to awesome. And at the end of this course, it is my hope and my prayer that you're going to see how God designed you to live and how to succeed. Now, make sure you have your workbook. Open it up to page number 1, and let's dive in, okay? The first letter of the word average is the letter A. That's pretty brilliant, isn't it? Look how sharp I am. A stands for apathy. Say that with me, apathy. Average will exist in your life and in mine if we don't have a desire to see it change. It was Albert Einstein, the famous German-born theoretical physicist who developed the theory of general relativity. He said this: the world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing. Now, apathy, according to the dictionary, is defined as a lack of interest, a lack of concern or enthusiasm. In other words, in my opinion, apathy is just a lack of passion. It is not believing you have what it takes to make a difference. It is falling to failure and never getting back up because you feel as if you have no worth, you have no value, you have no future, you have no potential. It's basically not moving forward in life. Just being content to remain in the arena of nothingness. Your life, my life, is intended to matter. There is purpose to your path that only you can fulfill, which is desperately needed, in my opinion, for this generation. We're living in uncertain times, crazy times, and you are needed now more than ever before. To live life not fully embracing who you are created to be, who you were created to become, is to neglect a divine obligation, a divine calling to greatness. Now, you have to believe, let's just be honest, you have to believe there's more than what you currently are seeing and you currently are experiencing. Apathy, if you allow it to reside in your life, apathy will cause you to not go beyond the grip of average. It locks you into a prison of passive existence. And here's what I've learned. The enemy knows this. The enemy knows this potential that resides in you. So what does he do? Well, he fights you with apathy, with indifference, with mediocrity, with settling for the status quo. He gets you to set up a camp in your failures, to live with regrets, to resist changing to something better and something more. Mark Twain once said of an acquaintance of his, he died at 30, they buried him at 60. In other words, he quit living long before he was ever dead. I want to challenge you, don't die in place. The enemy knows your potential. He knows the possibility that resides in you. So what does he do? As I mentioned before, he fights it. And for you and I to roll over and play dead is to miss out on this great adventure that we call life. You have value. How do I know this? Well, the Bible tells us, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. That means you have value. You're valuable. And to settle for less than what you have been created to be, to remain in a state of apathy and indifference about your future and your success, is basically to waste your life. Now, growing up with my 2 brothers in southern Idaho, we played a lot of basketball when there wasn't 17 feet of snow on the ground. I remember in junior high trying out for the basketball team, and I made it. I think they were hurting for players, so I made it. Now, I didn't get a lot of playing time because everyone on the opposite team knew which direction I was going to dribble. I'm going to let that sink in for just a moment. I could see the opposing coach on the other side. Now, I could shoot the lights out from the perimeter, got close to I could make it happen. Larry Bird, who? I was the great white threat. I had it. And I remember watching the opposing coach pointing over to me and saying, hey, you see that tall, skinny, one-handed kid? That was back when I was skinny. He's going to go to the right. But it didn't stop me from playing because I had to establish something. And here it is. I want you to get this. Other people's opinions of you do not define you. Someone's perspective of me, someone's view of me, someone's opinion of me does not define me. In other words, I am not who they think or say that I am. And it's the same for you that are watching this here today. There are those with their words and their actions that would try to limit you. But you are not who they say you are. I was not going to live my life in a box limited by my failures, my past, by other people's opinion. I refuse to. That's a recipe for apathetic living. And last time I checked, apathetic living is pathetic living. So many of us are living a life that is riddled with apathy, if we're just going to be honest here today, because we bought into this lie that other people's opinions matter. They don't. You are not called to sit idly by waiting for someone else to step up and do what needs to be done. You are called to do something with the calling and the gifts and the talents that you have in your life. Now, I want to give you six. Step, that counts as one, just letting you know. I want to give you 6 steps to break the power of apathy over your life. The first one is this: you must act. Let me say it again. You must act. Now, I played baseball for years as a pitcher. We'll talk about that later in this course because I learned some things. But one of the things that's very fundamental to the sport of baseball, you're never going to arrive at second base if you keep your foot on first. You got to move. You got to act. You have to act, and you have to defeat the enemy of apathy in your life. You have to pick yourself up. You have to push past the limits that have tried to hinder you and keep you down. Everything begins with motion. You were not created to be a monument. You were created to be a movement. What our world needs right now is not people that'll just idly sit by and watch the masses or even the minority do the things that they do. You and I were created to be a movement, and not a monument. You got to push beyond the limits that others have put on you. Maybe even you yourself have put on you. So you must act. Second of all, you must pursue purpose and passion. This is a double-edged sword of success, in my opinion. If you have no purpose, you have no passion. Find your purpose. Find where you were created to function effectively and pursue it. If the passion you believe is out there, if you have purpose, the passion will follow once the purpose is discovered. As we move forward in this series and this lesson, we are going to unlock your purpose and passion in such a way that you will never, ever be the same again. No purpose results in no passion. And if you have no passion, you will settle for mediocrity and live life with apathy. You'll have no interest. You'll have no direction. You'll have no movement. Find your purpose and your passion will follow. I promise you. I have to wake up each day and I have a statement that I say to myself almost every single day of my life, and I would like you, I put it in the notes in your workbook so you can have it, but I want you to say this to yourself every single morning. You ready? I am who God says I am. I am filled with purpose and destined for greatness. I am chosen to make a difference in my generation. No weapon, no tool, no person, no voice formed against me is going to prosper. I am a child of God. I am who He says I am. This is my purpose. The third thing is you must be available. Availability is paramount. You must commit to making yourself available for God to begin working in you. A turned off water hose doesn't do anything. It doesn't affect anything at all. There's nothing coming out of it. You have to be open to what God has for you, open to what life is trying to teach you. Availability is key. Fourth, you must trust the process. Breaking the hold of apathy on your life will not happen overnight. If you're looking for a quick fix-it scheme, this isn't it. Okay? Go find somebody else. This course is going to make you work. You're going to have to dig deep. It's going to take time, and it will probably be one of the most difficult things you ever have to do, but don't quit. The end result is totally worth the effort. Now, you may have to watch this course a few times over and over again, but stay after it. Trust the process of action, purpose, and availability. And then these next two I'm going to drop on you right now is something you need to make sure you keep in your life as well. The fifth thing, you must reach out for help. No one can do this by themselves. That's why I'm so glad you have joined this course and you've jumped into our Facebook group where we will begin to talk about some of this on a connected level. We'll dissect some things. We'll have questions. We'll have some interaction. I remember when I was in college, all my buddies were playing golf. And I was the one sitting at home. They're all out playing golf and enjoying it. And I finally said, you know what? It's not fun being the only one left here at home or in the dorm room. So I reached out to a friend of mine. His name is Kevin. Kevin, if you're watching, thank you, bub. I said, I want to learn. It's not fun doing what I'm doing right now. I need help. Help me. And he took me under his wing. Never mind. He took me under his wing, and now I beat most of my friends. Now, they are not going to tell you if they beat me. That's kind of embarrassing. You beat a one-armed guy. I beat them, I tell everybody. In fact, I think I've taken out ads in the USA Today just to announce it. But I wanted to learn. I asked for help. Let me just drop something here because I think this needs to be dealt with. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It really is a sign that you recognize that you can't do this on your own. What do? Well, get an accountability partner. Work together through this course. Challenge each other. Get someone that will help you be accountable for what you're going through. Finally, you have to deal with you. Y-O-U. You. Life is not about trying to fix everyone else and neglect to fix ourselves. Now, I've lived by a very simple principle that I think we probably need to mention right here. We'll probably talk about this some more in the course as we go forward, but I've learned something. I can only fix what I'm willing to face. I can only correct what I'm willing to confront. I have to. I can look at other people and figure out their problem, but it's the old adage in Scripture that says, you know what? Why are you worried about a splinter in somebody else's eye when you got a log sticking out of your own? You can only fix what you're willing to face. The most difficult person I have ever dealt with is me. It's me. I have to live with me, and sometimes me is everything me, and sometimes me is not everything me needs to be. So I got to work on me. Here's another thing I just want to drop here as we're talking about dealing with yourself. No one can walk in your shoes. You are unique and divinely created for success and greatness. Don't try to be someone else. We're living in an age of social media, and people think other people are living these incredible lives when it's basically it's just highlights. They're not telling you the rough times. They're showing you the best meals and the best vacations and all that, the best dates. They're not telling you about the times when it's rough. You are uniquely created to be who God created you to be. Don't try to be somebody else. I promise you, you try to be somebody else, it's not going to look good on you. Be you. Work on you. Recognize who you need to become in light of what the Word of God says about you. Remember, I go back all the way to the beginning. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. So to recap this lesson, if you want to destroy the tentacles of apathy that are trying to lock you down, keep you down, press you down, you must act, you must pursue purpose and passion, you must be available, you must trust the process, you must ask for help, and you must deal with you. This journey is going to be pretty amazing. I can't wait to share the next lesson with you. Stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for joining.